little video how to go from one step to another, just the basic when you start installing a shower. Okay, so I just finished sealing up the shower, making it completely waterproof. The next step in this shower is to start installing tile. So let me just go over some of the basic things you need to do from when you get in here to get to this point to where the shower is waterproof and ready for tile. So what's the first thing you do when you walk onto a job? Well, let's just talk about showers. So what you want to do is check all the studs. Make sure that they are all in line. And most of the time that's not going to be the case. Most of the time you're going to have a stud that's bowed, or one that's sticking out, or one that's too far back, and you're going to either have to shim or do something to correct the problem with the wall. A lot of times you can wet shim if you're doing foam board. If it's just one stud, you can get a planer and just plane it down. Other times you might have to shim it out with some drywall shims, or you might even have to sister it up with another 2x4 or whatever you have to get that wall all flat. So when you put your level across, all the studs touch. So that's how you know that it's flat. And you're going to do that for all the walls. Once you've done that, then obviously you're going to have to decide what kind of system you're going to use. If you're using Durock, the previous steps do not change. You still need flat walls. So if you're going to use a cement backer board, then you're going to put up your cement backer board according to directions, and then you're going to tape the seams and waterproof that with some liquid applied waterproofing membrane or some sheet membrane. That is why I like foam board. You put it up, it's waterproof. The only thing you need to treat are the seams and the corners. And the ladder crease system here, you can use a sealant. If you're using Schluter, you have to use banding. Either system works perfectly fine, and I've used both systems countless times. Now, you have to decide what kind of drain you're going to have. If you're going to use a 3-piece drain, or it's also known as a 2-stage drain, then you're going to need to put in a pre-slope, then put in your vinyl liner, then put your final mud bed in, and then you're ready for tile. You make sure that if you're putting a vinyl liner in, that you do not put Durock on the curb, that you mud that, or use some curb overlay, or use some other system that that you can use to fill it with mud. There's many different options for that. If you're using a bonding flange like I'm using here, which is known as a seal system, if you're using a 2-stage drain, that's known as a water in, water out system. If you're using a bonding flange like a Schluter or a Flowflex or even a laddercrete drain, there's several different ones. You don't need a pre-slope, your mud bed, or your foam, because a lot of times you can use foam trays with these systems. I always use mud, but whatever you're using as your slope to the drain, the bonding flange is going to be the key to that system. This is a bonding flange. I actually used the Flowflex here. I'll show you a picture of that installed. But now this is all completely watertight and ready for tile. So that was not I probably missed something somewhere, but that's basically the steps that you need to take to get to this point. Once you're at this point, then your tile layout takes precedence, and you're going to have to figure out what your tile is. In this case, it's a 4x16 inch subway tile. It could be whatever it is, and then it's going to be river rock on the floor. Just make sure that you're completely waterproof before you start installing tile. I have many tutorials and how-to videos on my channel, so check it out. Everything I talked about here, I have very detailed videos about all of them, so check it out. And I hope this little video helped you figure out how to go from one step to another, just the basics of what you need to do and what you need to think about when you start installing a shell, when you get to the point where you need to start putting up your backer board. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Thanks a lot.